Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to thank the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal and Tita Edith Fedalizo for inviting me to speak today. I have always been fascinated by Rizal's life and works. I remember enjoying a summer class in university where we read his writings and went over excerpts from his diaries. I enjoyed that summer, and I somehow felt like I stepped back in time and got to know not just Dr. Jose Rizal, our national hero, but Pepe the man. And although I am not a Rizal scholar, I am glad to have this opportunity to once again read his work and take the time to discuss his letter to the young women of Malolos and its relevance for Filipinas today. In 1889, upon the request of Marcelo H. del Pilar, Dr. Jose Rizal wrote his famous letter to the young women of Malolos. This letter was brought on by the protests of the Malolos women who fought for the opening of a Spanish language school. In this piece, Rizal delivers an inspirational message encouraging Filipinas to be strong and to rely on their God-given reason instead of blindly following the priests. He writes against the dominant culture of weakness and submission promoted by the religious. A striking feature of this piece is Rizal's intense dislike for the clergy while maintaining his religious sensibilities. He describes the priests' unjust power over the people and exposes their corruption. He even expresses his distaste for their notion of motherhood and emphasizes the Filipinas' role of mother. He says, and I quote, "Remember that a good mother does not resemble the mother that the friar has created. She must bring up her child to be the image of the true God, not of a blackmailing, a grasping God, but of a God who is the Father of us all, who is just, who does not suck the lifeblood of the poor like a vampire, nor scoffs at the agony of the sorely beset, nor makes a crooked path or the path of justice. Awaken and prepare the will of your children towards all that is honorable, judged by proper standards, to all that is sincere and firm of purpose, clear judgment, clean procedure, honesty in act and deed, love for the fellow man, and respect for God. That is what you must teach your children." Unquote. Furthermore, Rizal recognizes the need for women to be educated. He says, and I quote, "We know that you lack instructive books. We know that nothing is added to your intellect day by day, save that which is intended to dim its natural brightness. All this we know, hence our desire to bring you to the light that illuminates your equals here in Europe." Unquote. When I read the text in its original Tagalog version, I found it was a passionate and poetic piece that expresses our national hero's thoughts, sentiments, and frustrations. Not only is it a letter of encouragement to the women of Malolos, but it also articulates the signs of the times. It gives us a glimpse into Philippine colonial life in the late 19th century when the clergy held so much power, so much so that they influenced women's behavior and identity. While Rizal calls women their allies in their fight, he only emphasizes what they can do as mothers and wives. These expressions show us a time when women's roles were limited and were usually associated in the home. Filipinas today, however, have important positions outside the home. Many of us are highly educated and have proven that we can do more. Although patriarchy and prejudice are still present in society, I think Filipinas have come a long way from how it was before. Although Rizal spoke only of women's roles as wives and mothers, his message remains relevant today. He believed in women's capacity to think for themselves, to be strong, and to be a powerful force for the shaping of society. Filipinas are indeed allies, and they will continue to be. Thank you, Dr. Jose Rizal. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. To end, let us listen to some of Rizal's inspiring words of advice to the women of Malolos. Advice that I believe is relevant to women, upper and working class, Christian and non-Christian, to Filipinas then and now. Please help me welcome Kuya Joseph Gonzalez, the FAMA's Vice President External. He will read an excerpt of the letter in its original Tagalog. Note that the following slides will show the English translation.
Ang una-una, ang ipinagiging taksil ng ilan ay nasa kaduwagan at kapabayaan ng iba. Ang ikalawa, Ang iniaalipusta ng isa ay nasa kulang ng pagmamahal sa sarili at nasa labis ng pagkasilaw sa umaalipusta. Ang ikatlo, ang kamangmangay kaalipinan sapagkat kung ano ang isip ay ganoon din ang tao. Taong walang isip ay taong walang pagkatao. Ang bulag na tagasunod sa isip ng iba ay parang hayop na susunod-sunod sa tali. Ang ikaapat, ang ibig magtago ng sarili ay tumulong sa ibang magtago ng kanila. Sapagkat kung pabayaan mo ang iyong kapwa, ay pabayaan ka rin naman. Ang isa-isang tingting ay madaling baliin, ngunit at mahirap baliin ang isang bigkis na walis. Ang ikalima, kung ang babaeng Tagalog ay di magbabago, ay hindi dapat magpalaki ng anak, kung di gawing pasibulan lamang. Dapat alisin sa kanya ang kapangyarihan sa bahay, sapagkat kung dili, ipagkakanulong walang malay, asawa, anak, bayan, lahat. Ang ika-anim, ang tao'y inianak na paris-paris hubad at walang tali. Di nilalang ng Diyos upang maalipin, di binigyan ng isip para pabulag, at di hiniyasan ng katwiran at ng maulol ng iba. Hindi ka palaluan ng di pagsamba sa kapwa-tao. Ang pagpapaliwanag ng isip at paggamit ng matuwid sa anumang bagay. Ang palaloy, ang napasasamba, ang bumubulag sa iba, at ang ibig padiigin ang kanyang ibig sa matuwid at katampatan. Ang ikapito, lingin ninyong magaling kung ano ang relihiyong itinuturo sa atin. Tingnan ninyong mabuti kung iyan ang utos ng Diyos o ang pangaral ni Kristong panglunas sa hirap ng mahirap, pangaliw sa dusa ng nagdudusa. Alalahanin ninyo ang lahat ng sa inyo'y itinuturo. Ang pinagpatunguhan ng lahat ng sermon ang nasa ilalim ng lahat ng misa, nobena, kwintas kalmen, larawan, milagro, kandila, korea, at iba-iba pang iginigiit, inihihiyaw at sinusurot araw-araw sa inyong loob. Tainga at mata, at hanapin ninyo ang puno at dulo, at saka iparis ninyo ang relihiyong sa malinis na relihiyon ni Kristo. At tingnan kung hindi ang inyong pagkakristyano ay paris ng inaalagaang gatasang hayop o paris ng pinatatabang baboy kaya na di pinatataba alang-alang sa pagmamahal sa Kanya, kundi may pagbili ng lalong mahal at ng lalong masalapian. Magbulay-bulay tayo, malasin ang ating kalagayan at tayo mag-isip-isip kung itong ilang buhaghag na sabi makatutulong sa ibinigay sa inyong bait upang ding maituloy ang nasimulan ninyong paglakad. Tubo ko'y dakila sa puhunang pagod at mamatamisin ang anumang mangyari. Ugaling upa sa sinumang mangahas sa ating bayan, magsabi ng tunay. Tubo ko'y dakila sa puhunang pagod at mamatamisin ang anumang mangyari. Ugaling upa sa sinumang mangahas sa ating bayan, magsabi ng tunay. Matupad nawa ang inyong nasang matuto, at hari langang sa halaman ng karunungan ay huwag makapitas ng bungang bubot, kundi ang kikitilay, piliin, pag-isipin muna, lasapin bago lunukin, sapagkat sa balat ng lupa lahat ay haluan, at di bihirang magtanim ang kaaway ng damong pansira, kasama sa binhi sa gitna ng linang. Ito ang matinding nasa ng inyong kababayang si Jose Rizal.